Good morning, guys. We're back again. Video number 2. Like I said, I'm trying to do 2 a week, so I might actually do 3 this week. Kind of had a good idea flipping through my phone, realized that I kind of have a lot of things already filmed. Just need to put them together so I can share it with you guys. The first video ended up not taking too much time to edit. It was a little tricky to get everything organized, but I think it went pretty well. Had some friends watch it and got some good reviews. Just sitting here waiting for some equipment to warm up, and thought I would start the process of sharing this video with you guys. It's a car that I built from the ground up. I bought it as a pretty much bone stock 1994 Mazda Miata. I started to do a lot of track stuff with it. I started to get more into time attack events with it, and unfortunately I chose to move on from it to get into something with some more power. I'll regret selling it forever, just the memories that I had in that car and just what it taught me. It became a member of the family, and so it'd be cool to share that story with you guys. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Let's get it started. So this was my 1994 Mazda Miata. Ended up buying it pretty much bone stock. I think it had some coilovers on it when I got it, but power and everything was bone stock. Bought it just before the winter, as you can see here. One thing you guys will see in a lot of videos is my dog Bentley. He comes with me pretty much everywhere. This is him riding shotgun with me as we decide to slide off track. Rookie driver. An old property that I used to work at actually had snowmaking equipment, and I ended up being the first one to get the car out there and do some little donuts. It was a little bit rough, as you can see. We had the idea to start building a snow rally track. This is kind of what it progressed into. Ended up watering down the whole surface with a large water truck and kind of icing it down so it would hold up to the abuse from the cars. We kind of got this in front of the right people and ended up hosting a SCCA rallycross event, which ended up being really fun. I ended up taking first place in the rear-wheel drive. I think I had a little bit of practice compared to everyone else, though. I figured since it was a Miata, it was a good idea to give autocross a try. This autocross was about 3.5 hours away from me. It was a lot of fun, but I think I realized really quickly that in autocross you spend a lot of the day standing around volunteering. I didn't end up doing much driving. I think it was about 4 minutes of driving for the entire day. This is one of my bigger tracks that's close to me. As you can see, the stock Miata with 100 horsepower was a little bit outgunned. This kind of got me itching for some power upgrades. So in the next clip, everyone kind of made fun of me. I had an old landscape trailer that I would tow the car around in. It worked. This is the closest track to me. So I had some friends that knew I was looking for some power upgrades, and they knew of a wrecked Miata that had a good motor and roller skate is what it's called, with a Flying Miata FM2 turbo kit. I decided to go for that. It actually only took about a day to swap the old roller skate in and out with the new one. Wasn't too bad with the help of someone a little more mechanically inclined than myself. Got it alive. Figured that it'd be a smart decision to get the car on the dyno. If I remember right, it dynoed at 253 horsepower and 230 foot-pounds of torque, so that should do. This was some of the first days with the new power edition. It really livened that car up and made it a lot of fun. And man, did that turbo sure sound good. This is down at the closest track to my house. It's about an hour and a half drive, called Grand Junction Motor Speedway. Its claim to fame is being a go-kart track, but it's big enough to have cars on. So the Miata was really starting to take shape. By this time I'd put a lot into it, and it was so unbelievably reliable and a lot of fun. I ended up finding a hardtop for it, which was not an easy task in the mountains of Colorado, and decided the car needed a wrap. One thing that I've always enjoyed is sharing my passion with motorsports with other people. Giving rides to people that had never really been in faster cars on track was really special to me, and still is. I sometimes think I get more thrill out of that than actually driving myself. I enjoy seeing their reactions and kind of getting them hooked. Getting to see the person smile after we are done with our track session and they take off their helmet. It's just something really special. I really enjoy that. So by now, the Miata had gotten to a point where I was still able to get faster. I decided that a wing was in order. Wasn't really sure how much of a difference this was going to make. Kind of made a custom homemade splitter to go along with it to balance the car out. It actually ended up working a lot better than I thought. Was able to really tell a difference at higher speeds. This was kind of my first outing with the new setup. Just kind of testing the car out, getting ready for my first big time attack event. Yes, I know, I was about a mile away from the apex. The Miata was getting to a point where it was starting to beat a lot of competitive cars, and was having more fun than ever. At this point, with as much as I'd driven the car, I was starting to get pretty familiar with it and pretty comfortable. My driving ability was definitely increasing the more I did some track events and track days. It was time to head off to my first real big time attack event, which was Grid Life down at PPIR in Colorado Springs. Goofy landscape trailer in the background there, still getting the job done. Ended up surprising myself and doing quite well. Made a rookie move though, and ended up burning through my brakes after the first day and a half. So ended up having to sit a couple sessions out, which was kind of unfortunate. going around the banked turn was quite exciting. I was really glad to have a little bit of aerodynamics I had done. There was quite a big bump in the middle and kind of would upset the car, doing about 90 miles an hour, and that wall seemed to feel a lot closer. After this, I kind of realized that I need to take safety a little bit more seriously. I still just had a roll bar in the car, and being a taller person, I felt a little bit vulnerable since the car was getting pretty fast, and I just had a stock Miata around me still for the most part. So at my local track in Grand Junction, I was really fighting for every 10th of a second at this point. I was kind of feeling a little bit defeated. I'd had the car for a couple years and felt like I was coming to the potential of it. So I started looking at different motor options, and like I said before, I was wanting to take safety a little more serious. So I went ahead and ordered a roll cage for it. Didn't really have the confidence in my welding abilities to get it done, so ended up contacting a local shop down in Denver, and couldn't be happier with the work that they've done. This is the day dropping the car off. It was kind of a big moment. Hadn't really had anyone else work on it at all, so you can imagine. They ended up just doing an absolutely gorgeous job. So after the time it ended up taking to get everything done, get the car back together, I kind of was starting to focus my interest somewhere else. I ended up listing the car for sale. It didn't actually take very long to sell. I think it was under a week. Definitely took the right kind of person to understand what it was and what it was built for. It ended up going to a really good home with people that are going to keep using it for competition. By this point, I'd also been able to move away from the landscape trailer. This is actually the day I dropped it off. I ended up driving up to Wyoming and meeting them kind of in the middle. And within a couple weeks, I decided to find something new. I decided to move into a C5. A lot of people said I need to get a LS in the Miata, so I decided to just buy the car that had the LS already in it. And so far, I've been happy. I've only been able to get out on track once with it, but that was able to give me a good direction on where I need to go. I think with this platform, I'm going to have a lot more ability to expand and maybe do some even more serious time attack events and be a little bit more competitive. All I need now is some cut-off jean shorts and some New Balances. Alright guys, well, I hope you enjoyed that little clip. A little blast from the past for me. It was fun going through all those old videos and pictures and just kind of reminiscing on the whole thing. I'm really excited about the new car and the directions that I can go with it. I know I'll regret selling that forever and ever, but you know, maybe someday I'll look back and know that it was the right move for me. So I hope you guys enjoy video number 2, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.